On today's episode, we are talking about the war on talent that we are battling on the daily in the collision industry. We're going to talk about how you can fight to keep the great people that you have that other people are definitely trying to poach. You're not going to want to miss it on today's episode of Body Bangin'.
Welcome to Body Bangin', your podcast for all things body. Auto body, that is. And now, introducing Body Bangin's host, Mickey Woods of Mickey Woods Marketing. Mickey is a former auto collision center owner and is now a marketing and business development expert to shops across the globe.
Hey everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Body Bangin'. I'm excited to bring to you today not only a really cool guy, but a really amazing topic that we're going to discuss. And we're going to talk today about the war on talent, and it is prevalent. And Andrew Batenhorst, who's my guest today, he brought this to my attention and said, I really think we should talk about this some more. And I hear my shops complaining about it on a daily basis. So here we are. So Andrew, just a quick little bit about you I'm not going to tell you, about you, but for our listeners, Andrew's been in the industry for about 22 years. He started when he was 16. So you pretty much grew up in the industry, right, Andrew?
I did. I started as a detailer after college. I briefly worked at an insurance company, one of the top 5 in the country, learned all the ins and outs of what that was like, and realized that definitely wasn't for me. It wasn't a good fit. And got involved with, made the switch from the insurance to starting at a shop as an estimator, and then worked my way up to running a couple smaller shops. And now here I am at Pacific, handling the body shop manager role for this CCRC.
Yes. So Andrew is the BMW body shop manager at Pacific BMW, the CCRC, as we love to call it now. Everybody's got acronyms for everything.
Yeah.
So our war on talent, Andrew and I had talked a little bit about this, and it's really broken down into 3 segments. And so Andrew's going to talk with us about each one of those segments and what can we do? Because it's one thing to know about a problem, but then it's another thing to figure out how to address the problem, how to potentially fix the problem, if there is a fix.
Yeah.
So we've got the 3 that we're going to talk about today is we know there's a war on talent. So why do we think there's a war on talent? 2, what can we do as shop owners and managers? And then 3, what about the employees? What part can they take and how can they be handling this and dealing with this? So we'll talk about all 3. So let's start out with the why. Why do you think that there's this massive war on talent right now from your perspective?
I think it really started long, obviously, before COVID, and everybody knows we've had trouble attracting younger people to backfill the older generations as they retire and get out of our workforce.
Yeah.
But I think the pedal's been pushed all the way to the floor now because COVID happened. The immediate reaction for a lot of shops was to lay people off and survive.
Yeah.
And employees kind of went into the, finding alternative work or maybe working at a smaller shop for cash, doing side jobs, whatever they could to get by. And now as we're kind of, vaccinations are increasing and we're getting out of this slump, a lot of shops are starting to gain momentum again. And so there's this giant vacuum of already a low quantity of qualified labor to be available for a shop. Now it's even worse because there are shops that are obviously getting out of the pandemic slump faster than others.
Yes.
Putting a lot of pressure on this very short amount of supply. So obviously when there's low supply, demand is high, you're going to get increased wages and you're going to be faced with, a low amount of applicants applying for your open positions. So what options do you have, right, as a shop manager or an owner?
Yeah.
You've got to find those people somewhere. And I think the elephant in the collision industry room, so to speak, is we can be a little filthy with how we go about getting people on our team. And I haven't been a manager for my whole career, obviously, but it drives me nuts because my employees are constantly coming to me saying, Andrew, I have offers from so-and-so in this shop, and they could be 15 miles away. They could be 1,000 miles away. And these shops are throwing ludicrous amounts of money at whoever. And this could be even lower skilled technicians where historically they earned a lower wage.
Mm-hmm.
And the situation that we're in, they're being offered 50% more, maybe even 100% more than what they used to make. And that puts a tremendous strain on the current shop that has this employee to try and figure out, well, how can I keep them? How can I compete with that and a signing bonus and all these other things that these shop owners are trying to do to fill their team?
Yeah.
It's very, very frustrating because it's driving costs up, number one, and you're creating uncertainty for the employee, and it causes morale issues in a shop if someone leaves and the team doesn't understand why. But I think even beyond that, it's just kind of a Band-Aid over a gaping wound, really, in terms of how we approach getting new people into our industry. So in the end, we're kind of like it's similar to the crab mentality, right? So if you put a bunch of crabs into a bucket, the crabs will kill each other to get out,
right?
Rather than us working together to try and find a solution to this problem.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Andrew, and then I wonder how much of it is because there's still unemployment being given at such a high rate. Yeah. I see a lot of, not just even in our industry, but in other industries where people are really having a hard time getting anybody quality. And there's a lot of people who would just rather sit at home, collect your unemployment check, because now it's been extended. So now we already had, like you were saying, there was already a lot of tension there trying to get good quality techs and painters and estimators and every position really. And now you've got this unemployment thing where why should they work if they can just sit at home and collect a check and sometimes making more money than they were making even in their position. So now the heat's on. And like you said, then we see a lot of unethical practices happening of throwing money at people to get them to come aboard, poaching. I mean, we've always been an industry of stealing employees.
Yes. Yeah. But it's like, it's the unspoken. Nobody talks about that. I've been approached many times in various training environments where there's specific things that say, do not talk about recruiting. You'll be asked to leave.
Yes.
And I witness it. I've been approached. Jobbers, equipment salespeople, the guys that maintain spray booth. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. Everybody knows somebody that may want to move around.
Yeah.
And you can sometimes, as a manager, you don't realize that person may be in your shop to do something, a job or a vendor, whoever, and they may be planting a little seed in your employee's head. Hey, are you happy here? Yeah. Oh, no, you're not? Okay, well, hey, I got a guy that's he's willing to pay top money for you.
Absolutely. So we know that the issue is there. I think there's some identifying factors as to why it's there. But then the core issue is then what the heck do we do about it? Because